Hey everybody, it's Eric from EPAutos.com, your libertarian car guy, and I found my little recorder thing, so apologies before I begin to rant about not having put up anything in a couple of days. I wasn't able to do it because I couldn't find this thing. I left it somewhere and in an Alzheimerian moment couldn't remember, and then I did remember, and so anyway, here it is. But what I wanted to talk about a little bit is the car that I just finished writing about, and you can find that review up at EPAutos.com of the 2020 Dodge Charger, which is the last of its kind, along with its cousin, the Chrysler 300. They're both basically the same car, but both of them are the last of the rear-drive V8 available American cars that you can buy for less than $30,000 to start. Nobody else makes any cars like that any longer. Not GM, not Ford. All the manufacturers who do make large rear-wheel drive cars that are available with V8s are high-end brands, Lexus, BMW, Mercedes, and to get V8s in those things, you have to spend $70,000 or $80,000 or more. So the Charger is really a remarkable car, in addition to being the last car, and what's even more remarkable is that it's also a very old car in terms of product life cycles, which is industry jargon. The current Charger, though it's been tweaked here and there, for 2020 you can get the wide body kit that the Challenger had last year. By the way, the Challenger is a two-door version of the Charger. It's fundamentally the same as it was in 2011, which was the last time it got a major update. So we're talking about a car that's pushing 10 years old, yet it remains very popular. It's a big selling car. Despite that, in fact, I think because of that, because it is retro, because it has all those attributes that people do still want. On the other hand, people are being forced into these electric cars that cost ludicrous amounts of money and give you not very much in return. As a cross-reference comparison, for about $30,000, which is the price you'd pay to get into the base trim Charger, which doesn't have a V8 but does have a big V6, so about $30,000, you can buy a Nissan Leaf, which is a little pathetic electric car that's about the same size and about the same general characteristics as Nissan's Versa hatchback, except it's electric, which makes it even worse because you've got about 150 miles or so best case range. They never put that little asterisk above the range that they tout. Best case, which means if it's 100 degrees out like it has been for the past couple of days, don't turn the air conditioning on. That uses power, reduces range. If it's freezing out like it was last winter, don't use the heat, because that'll cut your range by 30% or more, depending on how cold it is. So you got this little electric car that's a Nissan Versa, basically, with electrical power that goes 100-something miles, takes 30 to 45 minutes to get back on the road. That's if you can find the fast charger, and only 80% recharge is recoverable at the fast charger, which is another asterisk that they never ever put in all of the glowing, touting advertorial columns that you'll read about electric cars. And that has to do with battery chemistry. You can't fully recharge a lithium-ion battery to 100% because not at a fast charger, because it damages the battery and reduces its life, and can't have that because then the battery has to be replaced. Replacing the battery is thousands and thousands of dollars. So, which would you rather have? Would you rather spend $30,000 for an electric Leaf, or would you rather have a nice big American car like the Charger that can go probably close to 400 miles on the highway, takes less than 5 minutes to refill, and by the way, you can get it with a V8 for just a couple $1,000s more than you pay to get into that horrendous little Nissan Leaf. Now, the Leaf would not be such a bad car if it cost about $12,000. Then, hey, that's a pretty cool option for people who live in the city, who have very short commutes, who don't ever need to go out on the highway for any length of time, who have ready access to plug-ins at both ends of every trip that they take. Hey, I can see it. It would be a cheaper way to get around, but as it is, it's a more expensive way to get around. You're spending more money, a lot more money, $30,000 is easily twice the price that you would pay for a non-electric economy car. Heck, you can buy the Versa for about $15,000. So you're going to spend $15,000 more to get into that electric Versa, the Leaf. You think you're going to save $15,000 worth of gas over, say, the next 7 or 8 years? You really think so? I don't think so. Plus, you're definitely not going to save time or hassle. So factor those into your buying decision. But back to the Charger. The Orange Man has given cars like that a temporary reprieve, I hope, by rescinding some of the fuel economy fines, the gas guzzler fines that were slated to go into effect very soon, and which would have made it very, very hard for Fiat Chrysler, which owns the Dodge Ram, to continue to build the Charger, or, and this is critical, consider investing the money in updating the Charger, which I'm sure they're considering and may have already decided on. Who knows? It's unclear what the Charger's future is. But at any rate, this is one of the reasons why I think it is important to vote for the Orange Man. Granted, he's far from perfect. He would not be my ideal choice. My ideal choice would be freedom, absolute freedom. Leave us alone. Leave the car industry alone. Leave everybody alone who hasn't actually harmed anybody. That's the libertarian ideal, and I will continue to thump my tub for it for the rest of my life. But we have to deal with practical realities, and we've got the choice of the Orange Man, who, something of a black swan, seems to be somewhat interested in dialing back some of these regulations, and all these other politicians who are all on board for increasing not only the regulations but decreasing our freedom and, heck, imposing a socialist state on the people of this country. And I'm certainly opposed to that. I'd much rather have the Orange Man and maintain the status quo, maybe even dial it back just a little bit, than go full Boogie Bernie or AOC and live in an American Venezuela, which is potentially what's coming. So, go out and buy a Charger. It's essentially a four-wheeled MAGA hat as far as I'm concerned. It's a big FU to all the social justice warring forces of political correctness, and it's just a fantastic car. It's big, it's comfortable, it's got a huge trunk, solid, and by the way, also safe. You hear a lot about safety these days. There's very little that's safer than a big, heavy car. That's physics, friend, and physics beats airbags any day of the proverbial week. So stop by epautos.com to check out my rant about the Charger. Also, there's a fresh article about Elon Musk and his latest promise not delivered, getting us back to electric cars. He's not going to be selling the supposed affordable Tesla 3 that was going to be sold for $35,000. He's gone back on that promise, and the price has gone up to $38,000. Isn't that nice? Anyway, hope you'll stop by the site. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch up with you again soon.